Actually, I have to talk about this because I know that it's still early, but based on what we've seen in preseason, it still looks like Giannis has not developed a reliable jump shot. And I have to say, why? That's the only flaw in your game. And yet, it's the biggest flaw because without getting to the rim, you're almost completely neutralized. So I mean, like, I can't exactly understand why he hasn't worked on that area of his game. Or at least it doesn't seem like he worked on that area of his game. All that means is you have a really good chance of losing to the same team using the same game plan. And now, you signed a supermax, so you're stuck there unless you want out, which Giannis has repeatedly said he's not leaving anytime soon, but we know how that can turn out with superstars. But still, I don't get it. Oh my. Like, I don't know. I've had it with the Bucks, man. I've had it. Bro, I can't do this anymore. So it's like I don't even have the energy for like a smart ad transition, so let's just get into today's sponsor, FanDuel. FanDuel is one of the biggest sports betting and daily fantasy apps in the world right now. With everything from traditional sports betting to snake drafts to daily lineup building contests, with cash prizes of up to $100,000 for first place, they have everything you could ever need. And if building lineups isn't your strong suit, they also have a built-in lineup optimizer to help you make your picks. If basketball isn't your thing, there are also a variety of sports to choose from on the app, from football to hockey to baseball. And if you maybe don't have the money to participate, there are also a handful of free contests that you can enter daily, so you'll never feel left out. If FanDuel is an app that interests you, you can sign up for an account using the link in the description and the pinned comment in the comment section below. If you're unaware, which at this point I have no idea how you would be, but the Brooklyn Nets took a 3-2 lead against the Milwaukee Bucks last night, with a hobbled James Harden getting 40 minutes, and the Bucks having a 17-point lead in the game at one point. Yeah, they had a 17-point lead, and they still ended up losing. Well, I need to give credit where it's due, because Kevin Durant had literally one of the greatest performances that we'll probably ever see. He had 49 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 16 for 23 from the field, and he played all 48 minutes while being the best defender on the floor. Like, there's nothing else to say about that. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. On the other hand, the Milwaukee Bucks had so many chances to steal this game back down the stretch, and they just didn't do it. Like, I have no idea what's gonna happen to this team if they were to lose, and it's different because you look back and say, oh, they lose in 6 to the Brooklyn Nets, that's not so bad, but it's the fact of how they're losing the series and are probably going to lose the series that is the concern here, because you have no James Harden for the entire series. You go down by 40 in game 2. At that point, everybody thought the series was over. Then you had a 90s throwback in game 3 in which the game ended 86-83, which I still don't even know how that happened, but it happened. And then you have Kyrie Irving going out, and it's just KD and role players essentially, which you did take care of business in that game, I will give you that. But then you get half of James, I don't even think it's half of James Harden at this point, because he was slow on defense, he didn't do anything on offense, apart from dribbling the ball a bunch and taking a few step back threes. Like, he didn't do anything. So you have like 40% of James Harden, and you still blow a 20-point lead. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where to go from here if you're Milwaukee. Well, the first option would be to fire Mike Budenholzer. That would be number 1 priority, but who knows if they're even going to do that after, you know, everything that's happened in the past, and they still didn't fire him. But who knows, maybe this might be the last straw, which I think it will be, especially for Giannis. So you have that, and then you have Giannis himself. Now, I don't want to say that you can't win a championship with Giannis as your first option, and it's not even that he has that many flaws. It's just the flaws that he does have are massive flaws, especially in today's NBA. He can't hit free throws. He's shooting abysmal from the free throw line this series and just this season in general, and he always has. I'll cue a clip of me watching him shooting a free throw last night, and you can tell that I'm genuinely annoyed by him at this point. You can tell in my voice. Can you at least hit a free throw? Like, is that something that you can do? Jesus Christ almighty. My God. So you have that. And then you have the fact that he just takes a lot of dumb shots that he has no business taking. My personal favorite is the pull-up 3 in transition that he just keeps taking for whatever reason, especially in crunch time of games. And that was one of the shots that he took down the stretch of this game. If there was 4 minutes left, the Bucks were down by 1. He grabs the rebound, he comes down and immediately takes a pull-up 3 in transition. Like, Giannis. Giannis, there are so many better shots that you can get. Other than that, you're 6'11", 240. Like, there's something you can do. There was another play down the stretch, I think it was like with 2 or maybe 1.5 minutes left. He got James Harden on a switch, on the block. He was posting him up. Now, keep in mind, James Harden is like 40% of James Harden right now. And Giannis decided to take a turnaround fadeaway from 15 feet instead of backing down James Harden. Now, I saw a couple of people say this. James Harden is a pretty good post defender, which that is true, but it's 40% of James Harden, and he's on one leg. I don't really know how good of a post defender he can be right there. So there's that. And then, speaking of going after James Harden on defense, the Bucks did not do that at all. Instead, what we saw them do down the stretch of the game was they went after Kevin Durant on defense, which makes 0 sense whatsoever because Kevin Durant is probably without question the best defender on this team. Like, I don't know what I just saw. I don't know what I just watched. I don't know where they're going from here. They're down 3-2 going back home with a James Harden who may or may not be healing before game 6. Who knows? We'll know when the time comes. But that was a game that they should have won. There's no question about that. And I think even the TNT guys said at halftime, like, they didn't like how Milwaukee was handling their offense, because like there were points where they could have gone up by as many as 20 points, but they just chose to either take dumb shots. They took, I think, like 3 threes in a row at one point when they had their offense rolling, and they missed all of those. And then there were so many opportunities for mismatches that they missed in the first half. Like, they could have been up by 25 going into halftime. Like, it doesn't make sense. And so you can kind of like hear my voice, like, I'm struggling to make sense out of this team. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if you can continue building around Giannis in order to win a championship. I really don't. I mean, I want him to win a championship because that's really the only thing missing. I just don't see it happening now with this team. And if they can't beat the Brooklyn Nets when they're not at full strength, or really not even close to full strength, then I don't see how they can ever give this team a legitimate challenge while having Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving on the floor at the same time. Like, there's no way that they're going to be able to do that. And it's frustrating because I thought that going into the series, the Milwaukee Bucks were the best matchup for the Brooklyn Nets. I thought they had the best shot of taking them out. And coming into game 5, it definitely looked like that, especially with a hobbled Brooklyn Nets team. But I held that assumption like before all the injuries happened. And so when you look at it like that, they have everything there. They have good perimeter defense. They have a good interior defense. They have shooters. They have like specific defenders for Kyrie Irving and James Harden. Like, you could put Drew Holiday on either one of them, and that's what they're doing. And you can put Giannis on Kevin Durant, even though he doesn't like to guard the other team's best player, despite him wanting to be the defensive player of the year. And actually being the defensive player of the year last year, he still didn't even want to guard Jimmy Butler. But that's another talk for another day. So I don't know where the Milwaukee Bucks go from here. They obviously have to win game 6. Now, if Giannis never signed his extension, which I will never for the life of me understand why he signed that extension at that point, but if he never signed that, this would be a lot more interesting. Now, I don't think that Giannis is gonna leave, and especially if Mike Budenholzer gets fired, he's definitely staying. But I just don't know where the team goes from here if they end up losing in the second round again to a hobble team. I just don't know. But I think that's about it from me. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think the Brooklyn Nets can close this out in 6? Do you think it's going 7? And if so, who do you think can win game 7? Let me know what you think. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell to be notified when I upload. Comment down below what you want to see next. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.